Hi, Nicolas.
Cool, thanks. Hi, Felipe.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Oh, absolutely good. Esse cara simpático aí é o Nicolas Guérin, o diretor criativo de Spiritfarer, do estúdio Thunder Lotus. Ele, que já participou de franquias como Assassin's Creed, mudou totalmente seu estilo de trabalho com um jogo indie mais calmo e mais reflexivo sobre a vida. Nesse jogo você controla Stella, uma menina que passa a ser a barqueira dos espíritos. O seu papel é cuidar das almas finadas e garantir que elas tenham os melhores últimos momentos de vida possíveis. Eu pude conversar com o Nicolas sobre a produção desse jogo e conhecer um pouquinho mais dos bastidores. O resultado você confere nos próximos minutos. I'm really happy to be here talking to you. Spiritfarer was the first game that made me cry just watching the trailer. It's an achievement for all of you. Congratulations.
Thank you, yeah.
Have you made this on purpose? You wanted to make people cry, get emotional?
Yeah, it was still quite intentional to actually make people feel things. Not to make people cry, but to interact with something that make them feel, specific emotion. In that case, it was a mix of being comforted on one hand, and of course being, confronted with the idea of departure and loss.
I live in São Paulo, in Brazil.
Yeah, I'm French, by the way, so there's always a love and a relationship with the Brazil and Brazilian people, from French people. So yeah.
French people have this thing with Brazilians?
Yeah, people in France love Brazil. It's a football, it's from the
Let
ball.
me guess, football, samba, and caipirinha.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, I can't judge you.
Cliche, man. It's always the cliche.
Yeah, it's cliche, but
Yeah.
it's good. I actually like it, I can't blame you. I am from the south of Brazil, Porto Alegre,
Right.
and my parents are there, and I was thinking that I am too far away from them and they are getting old. This game made me go through all of these memories, this good stuff, and wish they were here,
Right. Yeah,
in
I
this
totally understand it.
pandemic.
Both US and Brazil are so in a terrible situation. I mean, I'm sorry for you guys. I mean, when Bolsonaro was elected, the whole world was crying. Well, I don't know how it's in Brazil, but in both France and Canada, you can't even see a relative who passed away or who is about to pass away, and it made us pause and hesitate a bit at first because I was afraid that people would react, poorly to the game being so. I mean, death is the central theme of the game, and I was afraid that people would feel, the game was made with that idea of comfort and coziness and feeling enveloped by, the colors and the compassion and the empathy of the game. That I totally understand your point about your parents being far away and you not feeling there with them. We're a part of a continuum. We look like our parents. Our parents, made us in a way who we are, same for our friends, and they kind of live with us. People who left us are still with us in a way, no matter what we do, because of what we know, because of who we are. So probably, yeah, in that pandemic context, it hits even harder. Yeah. Completely not intentional that way, though.
You guys were expecting this pretty good reception, that this indie game would go mainstream?
Well, yes and no. Well, we hoped it. People would, be interested in it. We had very touching, emails from cancer survivors. The guy told us, I'm a 40-year-old, dude, and I never cry. And then at that game, I was weeping anyway. It was okay, cool. I mean, it's also the fact that the cast of characters, the 11 spirits we meet in the game, some of them touch people more than others. I frequently see people being really touched by the departure of Alice. Alice is a old hedgehog who suffers from, senile dementia, and she doesn't really recognize the character. And moreover, I mean, tons of the characters' inspirations are drawn from team member, relatives, or friends who passed away. There's a character called Giovanni. He's a lion. He cheats on Astrid, who is his wife, and through the Everdor, they have a speech they give to Stella. And when I wrote this, I kind of had to write someone who I knew was heavily inspired by my own grandfather, and write something that I wished he would have told me in a way. So it's tough. I mean, it's really emotional. You have to find those resources in yourself. So I'm really happy that people are touched by it.
Nicolas, if we were talking personally, I would certainly give you a hug.
It's fine, man. Girl hug.
Was it a creative decision to make Stella a silent person?
It was both a creative decision and a scope decision. Care is about first listening to others. You don't really promote yourself. You just take a step back, you stay silent, and you listen to others. Mm-hmm. So it felt a bit less right to have Stella, being more, invading this way. I mean, she is that receptor and not giver of stories. And from a perspective of scope, I was the only writer in the company. Mm-hmm. We just couldn't make it.
In my perspective, she was just our avatar inside of
right.
it.
Exactly. I think that's entirely true, and I'm a big fan of the recent God of War or like The Witcher 3, so games that have a very strong, well-defined protagonist. But then it becomes, hey, I'm gonna play Geralt meeting that other character. Mm-hmm. It's the transposition of your own feeling. So yeah, you're right. It's meant to be you in a way.
Did this game change the way that you see death, that you realize this moment of life?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's I'm getting older. I'm 40 now, and I have
I'm 22. So
good for you. I have a soon 7-year-old daughter with me, and my wife. I don't know, man. When I was younger, it didn't feel that bad to die. I mean, one of the characters in the game called Buck, he's a kind of a D&D player, basilisk, and that inspired by a friend of mine who died when he was 18. When he died, I remember that to myself saying, "Yeah, that's terrible, but it's okay. I mean, it happens to all of us, and there is a fatality." Yeah. And as you get, well, for me at least, as you get older, it just worse. I mean, it doesn't go better. It's getting worse and worse. I'm telling you this. Actually, for me, that's happened. And the game was in. I don't know if it was meant to be therapy because it wasn't. I mean, sorry, spoiler. It didn't really help. Fear of dying is like that big wall that builds up over time, and then you do things like Spiritfarer, which is akin to just chipping at it very slowly with a pickaxe, just remove a few bits, but the wall is still there. And Spiritfarer is more of it's just a continuation of very humbly trying to see this as something that haunts us and try to get used to it. I don't think it's entirely possible, and being entirely okay with passing away. All of us will still have that thing up until the end, but it's just the idea of getting a bit more used to it, of thinking about it. I think you find some comfort in it. It's still terrifying,
I want to talk about the end of the game when Stella passes away. The person that is taking care of everyone, and the end she doesn't have anyone that take cares of her. How was this decision?
Well, first, thank you for having finished the game. Yeah, she kind of feels lonely when this happens to her, because no one is there for her as she's been for others. Hey, can I ask you a question? Did you understand what the sequences with the memories and Hades, the big white owl talking to Stella was about? What would be your take on this?
Man,
It's not a quiz. It's really your own. There's no answer.
For me, it was like something like a god, but I know that there's a lot of inspiration of Greek mythology, so I don't know if it's our god, but for me it was something bigger than all of us and something bigger than Stella.
Cool. That's an interesting stance on it. But yeah, I mean, definitely the game is, in a way, Stella's story. The true thing about the game is that she dies. Stella lives and she dies. And all the spirits that she meet in the game are people that she met in her life. And as she dies, she thinks of the people that she met and she took care of, because that was her job to do this. So yeah, it's actually perfectly right to think that she dies alone, yet she's not entirely alone, as she still has all those memories with her. Daffodil, though, her cat.
Yeah, that's a pretty good company.